So let's bring in Taryn now from CPA Canada into the conversation here. Taryn, again, welcome and good morning to you. So, what practices do you see companies adopting related to governance oversight? Are there certain structures or configurations that tend to be more common, and how is the mandate for those spelled out? Now, again, I want to state for the audience that the ISSB is not prescribing, doesn't prescribe certain practices, and certain practices aren't necessarily better than others. It might depend on the company's context, but it would be interesting to hear your observations, Taryn, and your opinion here on these structures.
Yes, for sure. Thank you. So we're glad to be here at CPA Canada. Thanks for having us. We are a capacity building partner with the IFRS Foundation, so it's great to be able to share some of the best practices that we've seen as we develop implementation resources for CPAs and sustainability professionals in Canada. Um, I would say we're seeing trends in how companies are strengthening board oversight of sustainability risks and opportunities, particularly as they scale up the reporting efforts, considering alignment with various regulatory regimes. So first, I would say, they're increasingly establishing dedicated governance structures. This might include a standalone sustainability committee we've seen, or an expanded audit or risk committee with a broadened mandate. Um, in other cases, we've seen individual directors with sustainability expertise designated as a sustainability lead within existing committees, and that way they can bring their knowledge to the boardroom. I would say the structure alone is not enough. So a second practice we're seeing is the inclusion of a clear and specific mandate, and that would spell out the board's role in overseeing how sustainability is integrated into strategy, enterprise risk, and performance management. This mandate's typically embedded in the board charter, committee terms of reference, and they might call for regular updates from management, performance reviews, or active engagement with both internal functions and external stakeholders. Um, and the third practice I'll speak to is cross-functional collaboration, and this is really where the accounting profession plays a pivotal role. So the most effective board oversight is supported by strong collaboration across finance, audit, and risk teams. So these functions help ensure that sustainability related information is not only reliable, but also integrated into the financial and strategic decision-making processes of the organization. We're seeing finance teams trying to be that connective tissue, as you know, we're having that theme here of the sustainability and financial data, and supporting that movement towards integrated reporting and decision useful information that reflects long-term value creation. We're also seeing some companies embed sustainability risks into their internal audit plans already, so that helps enhance the board's line of sight and strengthens confidence in external disclosures. So a few good practices there. Things are moving, but as Jen mentioned too, there's quite the variety in place right now.
Thank you. It's a variety there. And you mentioned the finance and audit teams and risk teams playing a role here. How are these teams adapting their processes to support the board in overseeing and disclosing those sustainability related risks and opportunities?
Yes, this is one of my favorite topics. Love to go into this in more depth. The finance and audit teams, they're really emerging as key enablers of that governance shift. So we're seeing growing recognition that the quality of sustainability oversight, it hinges on the systems, controls, the professional judgment that these teams bring to the table. So this isn't just about compliance. And, in Canada, our securities administrators just paused on our climate disclosure rules. So we're not focused on compliance. We're focused on best practices, voluntary disclosure at this point. So it's about embedding sustainability into the organization's strategic decision-making process and its finances. Again, they're acting as that connective tissue between the sustainability specialists, operations teams, and the board. And their roles are really evolving to ensure that the data is not only accurate and consistently reported, the sustainability data, but also structured in a way that supports strategic decision-making. But you asked how. So how are these processes changing? So I mentioned cross-functional collaboration at the board level. That's what we're seeing within the organization as well. With organizations that are further along in their formal reporting journey, some have even gone as far as to establish new departments, a sustainability reporting department. And they act as that link between the sustainability team and the finance team. But whether a new team is established there, it could also just be formal collaboration responsibilities that are laid out between departments. And I can go into just a few points about what that's trying to achieve. So first, they're trying to integrate the sustainability risk into enterprise risk management processes. So finance teams or the finance function within that new sustainability reporting team, they're embedding climate and other sustainability risks into the broader risk management framework alongside credit, liquidity, and operational risks. So this alignment will really ensure that the sustainability risks, that they're not siloed anymore, but they're governed in a way that reflects their potential financial material and strategic impact. Um, the second one, and maybe one of the most significant shifts, is the expansion of internal control frameworks. So to include that sustainability related data into that framework, historically, we've seen those internal controls focused more so on the financial reporting, but now we're seeing them extend those systems to non-financial information, GHG emissions, water usage, maybe human capital metrics. And this adaptation ensures traceability, consistency, reliability for your sustainability data. And that's really foundational for both credible board oversight and eventual external assurance, which we hope to see in the future. Um, we're also seeing internal audit functions get involved in testing controls around sustainability data to enhance the quality, the board's confidence in the quality and reliability of what's being disclosed. Um, and even in the absence of mandatory assurance requirements, we are seeing audit committees even request assurance readiness reviews. So these reviews would assess whether the underlying systems, processes, and controls supporting the sustainability disclosures, if they're robust enough yet to stand up to external scrutiny. So it's a forward-looking approach, reflects the shift in mindset. It's great. Boards are understanding that reporting must meet the same standard of quality and governance as financial reporting. And then the last point, I'll just bring it all together with the finance and audit teams. They're really stepping up to structure and manage that reporting pipeline. The boards rely on management to provide the coherent, timely, decision-useful insights. So the finance function is increasingly taking that lead in organizing and integrating sustainability data alongside traditional financial reporting. So I love to say that the finance teams are not just supporting sustainability governance, they might be even shaping it. Thanks, Manny.
Great, thank you. A lot of evolution there and breaking down of silos, which is really great to see. And we know that CPA Canada has released an oversight framework, which is CPA Canada's ESG oversight framework. So tell us a bit about this resource, how companies can use it to strengthen governance over sustainability-related risks and opportunities, and to ensure that disclosures under IFRS S1 and S2 reflect that governance as well.
Yes, for sure. I can do that. So we have a step-by-step guide. It's got 6 steps. I can go through them just to give the audience a sense of what's in the tool. A key benefit of this, phased oversight approach is that it really helps boards move from a high-level intention to a practical execution. So it's ensuring that the sustainability is treated with the same rigor as financial performance, backed by governance structures that are clear, auditable, and aligned with investor expectations. So just a brief overview of the steps to get a sense of what's covered. The first 2 steps in the framework talk about understanding the sustainability landscape and then identifying material sustainability risks and opportunity. So this lays the groundwork for meaningful governance and aligns closely with the standards requirements to disclose how material sustainability risks are identified and assessed. And importantly, this initial analysis, it really helps boards focus their oversight on what truly matters, both in terms of long-term enterprise value and stakeholder relevance. So it's not just a checkbox of reporting everything, really focusing in on the material matters. Step 3 and 4, they clarify who's responsible for oversight, and they go through conducting a gap analysis. So for each material sustainability matter, compares current state to the desired state. So these steps really bring essential structure and accountability. Whether your oversight is going to reside with the full board or a designated committee, that clarity and role allocation, it supports more coherent decision making and reporting, and those steps will help set that up. And then finally, steps 5 and 6. These steps include prioritizing actions, resourcing appropriately, and monitoring progress. So these steps are allowing boards to build a dynamic governance system that provides a solid foundation for disclosing processes, controls, and procedures used to oversee the sustainability related risks. And this is where the finance and audit teams are playing that critical enabling role and really helping move that shift from compliance to credibility. So the steps, these frameworks can really help boards demonstrate that they're not simply reacting to new standards, new requirements, but leading with integrity and foresight. And like I said, disclosing what truly matters to investors.